What's up, everyone? It's Roger and APF for episode number 87 of Infinity and Beyond, presented by DisKingdom. And on this week's show, we're going to be discussing Marvel Battlegrounds. We're going to be discussing Baloo, and we're also going to be having a little bit more of a discussion about PC, Apple TV, and iOS devices, which have kind of gone through a little bit of an odd week the last couple of weeks. So it's definitely going to be one good, one bad this week. So, Abe, how's your week been?
It's been good, man. Been good. Been pretty busy. So.
Yes, and you might notice as well, we're both now on proper microphones as well. We're slowly upgrading. So a big thank you to all of our patrons, and I'm also going to give a shout out to Papareka and Patrick for becoming the latest Patreon as well, and a big thank you to Ethan over at sortaapps.com as well for being in Patreon. So let's get that out of the way. So let's jump straight into the good stuff. Marvel Battlegrounds. I haven't got it yet. It's not out here in the UK till this week. Been popping up in Tesco, but my Tesco didn't have it in stock last night, so I've still got to wait a few more days before I can get out of it. So Abe, you've got it. Just tell me your thoughts. What do you think?
It's a great playset. It's definitely really fun. It's very well polished. It's cool. It's definitely a playset to play with friends. You definitely want to have friends with you when you're playing it. Story-wise, obviously everybody knows already. It's quite short. It's very short, to be honest. But again, this playset wasn't meant to be like all about the story. It's all about being multiplayer. Aside from that, it also includes challenges, which each individual Marvel figure that we have has its own little challenge, and that is the way to unlock toys for the toy box, or like little unlockables like the outfits to be used into the game. But other than that, I mean, it's a pretty cool playset. It's again a lot of fun when you have multiple people with you, up to 4 people at home. Other than that, there could be a few things that could be improved. Like obviously, online player would be awesome. I know they said that if this was online, then we would want online on all of them. But you could still just give one of them to be online. At least this one. But yeah, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, because you're saying about the it being short. Now, how long did the main kind of story take you to complete?
I mean, a lot of people have been saying like 45 minutes to an hour. Honestly, it took me close to 35 to 40 minutes. That was really short. Yeah.
Yikes.
There was.
But carry on. You carry on. I was going to say, because there was extra little like missions for each character. Now the question is how long do they each take?
It depends. It varies. I do have a few videos of each one. So eventually you guys will see them. But it just depends. If you play them on extreme difficulty, they definitely last a little bit longer. Certain ones require you to do more than the others. Like, for example, on some of them you'll fight against 5 enemies, on some you'll fight against 1. Some of them requires you to defeat little miniature robots of those versions. I mean, it just depends, but that definitely does add time to the playset if you count that as part of the story. But it's so I mean, they technically have their own little stories. What were we gonna say?
Are they like 10, 20 minutes each, 5 minutes?
No, I mean, they vary. I mean, they could be from, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes to sometimes maybe 10. So, I mean, you can see each one as being 5 to 10 minutes. Let's say that. And you multiply that by 28. So, there is some multiple game time there.
Yeah, so you're looking, what's that? So 6, 12, 24. Well, that's that. I mean, just those challenges alone could be essentially anything between 2 to 4 hours to do all of the challenges. Would that be about right? Did you sit down in like one session?
You can say 2 to 4 hours, yeah.
So yeah, I'm trying to sort of think of it like, if you take those challenges and the main story, you could be looking between 3 to 6 hours, depending on how good you are and what difficulty you've got it on, which is kind of not. I suppose in the normal play sets, you're looking at, you can plow through that story in, I remember in like the Spider-Man's ones, people were plowing through them in an hour or two. but to master all the skills and all the rest of it, you would take 8 to 12 hours. So it definitely feels like one thing that seems to be coming back from the community, because I've been asking people on our Facebook group, the shortness of story mode is there, unless you're, like you say, unless you're playing local, which completely changes the entire game.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, because if you wanted to be technical, I played a little bit with Rob from Conap TV, and we found ourselves playing a while because it's fun to play against each other. And not to mention, there's not just one multiplayer mode. There's like I think there was 5 total. Like there's different little games you can do. So it still adds time to your gameplay as far as playset goes. But if it's just you and it's only you who's playing the game, you're looking at about just the 4 to 5 hours. Let's just say that to play it fair, 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing I'm I don't know if my expectations I've been lowered over the last couple of weeks, especially in the last week since everyone's been getting it. And I haven't played it yet. It's this thing of like, this is not going to be a long-term gameplay for me, because essentially I'm not playing local. I think this is if you've got kids and you've got a family, this playset will probably have more hours in it than maybe the other ones will, because they'll want to get in there and they'll be fighting and they'll be doing it. But for a single one-player one, and I know like Disney are like pushing this kind of multiplayer. This is a multiplayer game. Well, you made a multiplayer game that you have to have other people in the room, and saying, "Oh, it's a party game." It was like, well, that's not Infinity. That's not, you've changing it halfway through. It just feels like this game needed the online multiplayer to have completely upped the ante on how to do it. Because I think there's that thing, if I know you play with like Bill and Travis and other people online. If you were playing Battlegrounds online, you'd probably be playing this for months. And I'm wondering,
absolutely.
Yeah. And I think this thing about saying, well, online only, we want it for all other play sets. Well, I did actually send a tweet that said, well, we were asking that since 1.0. We've been online since they came out. It's this one thing, I think, for me, that I'm slightly like, oh, Marvel Battlegrounds feels like it might be a game I'm going to play for a week or two, and then I might not jump in for a while. And that's kind of, but then I jumped into Rise of the Empire this week, and I realized when I had a look at my counter, I hadn't been in there since like November. So sometimes that happens anyway with play sets, but this one feels like it very much, you're either going to be loving it to play it a lot with family and friends, or you're just probably going to, yeah, it's all right, and move on.
Yeah, no, most definitely. It's unfortunate because the online play would have made this playset like probably top notch, one of the best ones, I think. But because it's very, like I said, it's very well polished. It's pretty, and it's you can see there was a lot of time dedicated to it. However, gameplay wise, whether you have people with you or not is going to determine how long you'll play the playset. But I know there's little ways around it too. But go ahead.
I was going to say, because I think that seems to be in some ways, it seems to be the only shortcoming for me. It seems to be, other than it being short and for single player a little bit lack, that seems to be that's the only thing really I've been hearing bad about it. And I think that kind of it's, no one's been complaining about, the fighting and the overall experience and the way the power disc worked differently. I mean, how does that work?
Oh, the power disc, I thought it was one of the coolest things they did. I mean, they definitely play differently than they do in your toy box. What it is like they'll randomly be basically I guess, I don't know, it's kind of random. It's not even triggered by anything. While you're fighting, randomly there'll be like a message saying power disc delivered, and like you have to find this little capsule, and once you hit it, you let it charge up and you activate it, and the animations are way different than they are in the toy box. Like a big example is, let's say, the Ant-Man, what do you call it?
The team up disc.
Yeah, the team up disc. In the toy box, you summon him and he comes up and he fights with you alongside of you. On this one, you summon him and all of a sudden you see this giant foot come out of nowhere in the sky, and it just stomps on everybody. So obviously they're hinting obviously his next character, but it's like different animations, which is pretty cool. And you can load up to 6 because since you have your figures now, you just tap them in and it automatically registers into the game. You don't really need to have that figure on the base anymore. So that little disc that's underneath your figure, instead of having that on the base, it'll take place of a third round disc. So now you can have up to 3 on each little circle on the base. So that's how they make a total of 6 usable in that playset. But overall, I mean,
I was going to ask, is it? Yeah, I was going to ask, this thing about loading up your figures, is it right? You have to chin your characters each time you play, or it doesn't remember who it is.
It's basically a game session. So if you turn on your game and you're playing, and let's say you go into for our example, the PS4, you go onto the screen and add somebody to your party or whatever you're doing just to talk. But you get back into the game, everything will still be there. But once you shut down that game and you do something else, and you decide to play Battlegrounds, time to start tapping all those figures back in. So that's probably another little downside. But once they're all in, it's kind of cool. What's up?
Yeah, don't they have a trial thing where you can try a couple of figures coins in the Marvel one?
Yeah, they have trial coins, and those were initially, and people were saying this in our Facebook group, what they're for, which are basically, if you don't have this figure, you can use one of your trial coins to use one of them. Then that's when I told everybody, well, no, those coins are for that, and for you, if you're too lazy to load them all in, you can just use your trial coin, and you can just do that instead.
Yeah, well, I was. Because do they keep to your level 20 or level 15 or whatever you've got, or they literally use 0?
So this is one of the cool things about this playset. Level doesn't really mean anything in this playset. You tap it in. Right. Yeah, you can have a level 0 Marvel figure. You tap it in, it's going to play beautifully, just like it's a level 20. But the cool thing about this is, whenever you are playing either the playset or you're playing one of the challenges, they earn experience. But what happens is the experience, it actually collects in a little bank. And what's cool is you can actually put whatever Marvel figure you have, play. Let's say you play with your favorite Marvel figure as much as you want, collect all this experience. It's already level 20 because it's your favorite. Well, what about all this wasted experience? Well, it collects in this little bank, and then you can move your favorite figure, put in somebody you have at level 0, and then say, give the experience to this figure. And obviously your figure will now go to whatever level. And what's cool is you start designating the experience, and on the screen it'll actually show you potentially what level it'll reach the more you add to this figure. So it's kind of a cool little feature that they did with this playset, which was something that I did enjoy. What was I going to say?
Does it feel like an expansion? Feel completely almost like a standalone game on its own?
You can say both, to be honest with you, because the story is so short. It makes you feel like it's an expansion game, and you have little missions and stuff, and then obviously. But the thing where it lacks is obviously the online play. If it had online play, it would be way better. And plus, the expansion games play online. This doesn't. So, but then I say no because the quality is there too. The quality in this playset is phenomenal. I know some of the expansion games, they have nice quality as well, but they're not just like over the top like this game has it. And now, before I forget, because I keep asking me questions and I forgot to answer it. Depending on the system you have, there are ways around playing online. Like, for example, PS4 has share play, and I have heard other people saying that they have played online with people. Maybe it's not 4-player, but at least it is 2-player. And I don't know if anybody has tried share play with 4 players, but other than that,
can you do that once per game though?
I don't know. I haven't tried it personally myself. But who knows? Maybe not. So yeah, no. Other than that, it's definitely a great playset. It's just it's lacking in a few departments, but it's definitely top notch. So
yeah, it definitely feels like it's been getting kind of good general reaction. I don't know whether or not this week. I think everyone been. I would almost say they've been distracted by other issues that have been kind of been the more the negative thing this week. So Marvel Battlegrounds has kind of been the positive, the upbeat. Everyone's got new content, everyone's got new characters, someone's got stuff to play. People are playing it, people have been picking it up. It feels, I mean, it's been quite bad in the fact that because it's not out here yet. It's been one of those weird things of sort of seeing people playing it for a week or so, and also I think because it leaked out on so many stores early, people have been playing it for a couple of weeks now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's definitely, it feels like one of the playsets that has been out like sparingly everywhere. It's been kind of interesting, but no, yeah, there's definitely been some other issues that have been causing a lot of drama. So.
So I think this is the thing of have you been able to try out like Ant-Man, Black Panther, and things using the trial coins or anything like that?
Like using the trial coins? You know, absolutely. I mean, I like I said, I got to play with Rob a while ago as well. I played with all the characters. Ant-Man wasn't one that I wasn't able to play with him because you know, it wasn't out yet. It was under embargo for a while. But I did play it with the trial coin. And no, yeah, each new figure has some pretty cool features. They definitely feel more unique than, you know, the most of the other figures that we have. But yeah, no, what were you gonna? Did you have a question about them or?
No, it's just kind of in general, like which one feels best. You know, are they kind of, you know, in game? Do they feel different than they do in the toy box?
I think it depends on the way you play the game, because obviously it's a brawler, so you know, you might prefer to do different things. But as far as the playset goes, I mean, yeah, it feels like your typical figure that you'll have. You see how it plays in the playset, so it's kind of similar in the toy box. But you know, you have Black Panther, who's like hands-on melee / brawler, you know, and he's really fast, which is one of the reasons why I enjoy him a lot. He's just very quick. Then you have Ant-Man, who has the amazing special moves. It's kind of cool. It's definitely a great figure to add to the collection. And obviously Vision, you know, having the ability to go underneath and coming out of nowhere, that was kind of cool, something new, unique that they added into the game. And
what's Captain America like compared to the 2.0 one?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say right now. Basically, he does have his different. He uses his shield a bit differently. The way he attacks, it's like he uses it a bit more than the regular Cap. Also, the special ability, he uses that to deflect a shot from the helicarrier, as opposed to just using it and having it whip around in circles. But he's definitely pretty powerful, this new Cap. He's really quick, very agile. So it's definitely one of my favorite additions as well. He does play a lot differently than the original.
Cool. Well, I think that's been the kind of thing of going. Well, this is, you know, it's a bit like Hulkbuster and Iron Man. They feel completely different.
Right.
I was never too keen on how a Hulkbuster, you could never use a blaster, because that was my weapon of choice and you took it away. So it was like,
right.
So I was wondering with like sort of Captain America, whether or not he was going to be too different, because obviously like Black Suit Spider-Man that was kind of like they keep tweaking him to make him feel different. But I'm glad that Captain America is feeling completely different than the 2.0 character.
I mean, he definitely has the similarities, but like, he does play differently, way differently. So I mean, you can even feel it when you go up against his classic version. So. Yeah.
Well, next week, will be the Easter show. I'll be able to chip in with my own thoughts as well. So it's kind of going to be, and then probably next week we'll kind of probably go into a little bit more detail when the two of us are kind of being able to compare properly. Because at the minute I'm just going off of people's YouTube videos, and what I'm thinking is definitely like, I want to play it. I'm waiting for it. This is like, oh man. It's like, why are we get like a week's wait? Everything else is usually a day or 2 days. It's fine. You know, it's like, but like nearly 10 days afterwards, it's like, just see people playing with it. So I'm gonna have to get used to the new Star Wars Outer Rim stuff that comes out today. I'll be playing that for a day or two till it comes out.
Yeah, no, definitely. I understand that feeling.
But also I think like with Marvel Battlegrounds, I mean in general, just like how if you were to kind of if I said you now to review it or give us a kind of an initial outline, what would you kind of score it? What would you kind of give it as a kind of a general feedback, and maybe comparing it to other play sets and stuff and expansion games in the past?
I mean, it's kind of hard to rate it that way because you can't really compare this to a different playset. I mean, to another playset because it just plays differently. But I mean, if I really want to be strict and to the point, I'd probably maybe rate it a 7. Out of 10, obviously. Reason why, I mean, like I said, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. They've done very well with detail and it's very nicely programmed. Story is cool and everything, but the online feature is just a big miss in my opinion. It's like you can't have a multiplayer brawler playset without the ability of being able to play online. It just makes no sense. It's kind of like having Smash Brothers and saying, "Oh, by the way, you can't play with anybody online." It just doesn't work.
It feels like in 2016 that excuse doesn't quite cut it the same. Had this been 5 years ago, it probably would have been able to get away. They would have gone away with it, and no one really would have. It would have been like, oh, so you could have done. I think now every game has an online function. The game has got online play. You know, this has been the big thing with like Skylanders of people asking for it and asking for it, and like you say, it feels like it kind of. The major issue that's kind of, I think, especially for single players, I think this is the biggest problem with it. Well, if you're a family, it's great.
Well, and here's the kicker. I mean, like to add on top of that, because we don't have online play, you're dependent on it being either solo play or have people over and play with them. But let's say for those people who don't have people over, the story mode is so short. And you know, you're only going to do those challenges not that many times, so eventually it kind of makes, you know, the individual player see like they just bought a playset that has not that much value to them. Unless, you know, you're a player who likes to do like Power Stone or Injustice or all those games, or you don't mind playing brawlers on your own. It doesn't really matter. You can play against the CPU, you can change the difficulty. But yeah, I mean,
Injustice was that was, but then again, it had a much more stronger storyline. It took me, you know, it's taking hours to go through, and you know, because it was difficult to go through. And also the challenges are quite hard, I think, for it. So it's definitely, I'm loving the idea of bringing back all my Marvel characters from 2.0 because I'm a big Marvel fan, love Marvel stuff, and some of those characters in 3.0 still feel strong enough. They never felt, I don't know why they didn't have finishing with the same like finisher move. It's kind of they're on par. It's not like the 1.0 characters where they're completely just like, you know, useless. The Marvel characters are still so much more useful. So I love the fact they brought them in. You know, we've said before, you know, they are bringing out another wave of Marvel characters later this year, and there's supposed to be some females in there as well. Do you think they're going to get some new challenges in this game?
You know what? Not to spoil the extremely short story, it ends in a little cliffhanger. I don't know if their plan is to add a part 2 to it when they release the new Marvel characters. Who knows? But it challenges, no doubt about it. I have a feeling they'll add new challenges with new characters. It's something simple they can do, theme it to the new character. And yeah, I do hope they do add some great female characters. You know, I can always hope for Scarlet Witch, but I don't think it'll ever happen.
I think I remember going back to like Speedway when we all thought we were going to get some extra tracks and stuff, of whether or not they do like a Marvel Battlegrounds 2 or something, because there's this kind of thing of like if you were bringing out a game and there is going to be additional characters and stuff, you would hope that you would kind of promote that and go, well, there is more content coming. You know, it's not just this. There's a little bit more to come. You know, the season pass kind of, oh, there's more coming. You know, but the way Disney's been like promoting and kind of communicating lately, it wouldn't surprise me if they just forgot to, you know, we will mention it later. It's this kind of thing of like, I wouldn't put too much scope on the idea of them upgrading the playset because they've not really had any time in the past where they've done that. They've not, you know, they've never updated any other playset or expansion game. So it's a little bit like, do you think we will? But I'm hoping we at least maybe get some challenges
Well, the only reason why I allude to that is because they have said multiple times already that that these brand new Marvel characters will be playable in this playset. So that leads me to believe that they're definitely going to do something with this playset to allow these new characters in, whether it be adding a little bit more to the story or whether it be just challenges at all, on its own. Then I understand. I mean, we got to understand this is the very first purely DLC playset, and in Disney Infinity's life cycle in general. So, so I don't know. We never know. And like you said, they threw out the cards out the table already. So go ahead.
Yeah. This year they've definitely thrown things out. And regarding the DLC and how it's changed things, it has without a doubt changed things. So we're just gonna. Have you got anything else you wanted to add on the Marvel side of things before?
No, I mean honestly, it's definitely a great playset. Like I said, it's just if you're expecting a long story, don't, because it's not there. But other than that, it's a great multiplayer playset. It's honestly beautifully done. Love the integration of the power discs. I mean, you were mentioning how they beefed up the 2.0 characters and made them playable very well in this playset. Well, they also did the same thing with the power disc from 2.0. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this weekend to be able to play it. And just kind of get those Marvel characters out, get Venom and Hulk and all them lot out and kind of enjoy it all. And so, yes, on the next episode, I'll be able to feed back on it. It's kind of, like I said, it feels interesting with this Marvel Battleground stuff of having a DLC. This kind of thing of us being here in March at Easter, and we have a new playset. And we've got more stuff to come. It feels weird because we've never had this before at this time. We've had a figure. Last Easter we had Loki and Falcon. It's definitely having things. I would have, when we said this in the previous shows, or when they said about having new Marvel playset, I'm a bit like, well, I kind of want a proper Marvel playset because I still really enjoyed the 2.0 playsets. And being a Marvel fan, like, if I want to get the Brawler this year, I want more than that. But it doesn't look like it's happening this year. But the thing is, like we've been kind of alluding to this thing of what's been going on, because last week we were talking about the PC version of the game is basically no longer getting support for the new Marvel Battleground stuff and Baloo and all the rest of it. The day after we recorded that, kind of people were starting to report. I think it was Tuesday, of when people were buying Marvel Battlegrounds, popping them down on their Apple TVs, and they weren't loading. And from there, things started sort of escalating for, I think, over a couple of days, where people were saying, well, they're not loading. And then there was these kind of odd little tweets saying, well, it's not supported, we're supporting the console version. And finally, there was a comment yesterday, I think, on the official forum saying that they're just focusing on traditional consoles. And it kind of, I think there's a whole like whirl of storms just brewed up because of basically PC and Apple TV owners basically on getting Marvel Battlegrounds. But also, I think the problem with Marvel Battlegrounds was Apple TV owners had gone out and brought them and pre-ordered the Marvel Battleground stuff, and they were having them in their hands, playing them, and they weren't working. Which, I mean, I was watching the live Twitch show that they did on for the launch, and people were in the comments just like, well, why is this not working on how do I get the update? And it's just been a real mess for communication from Disney, and it's hard to kind of, I really feel like on this, I've actually got really like two completely variations of opinions. On one hand, the Apple TV people, I feel really, really sorry for, and the same for the PC people. You've invested some money, you've got it, and it's awful. And I think the way Disney have communicated has been really bad. But there's another side of me that really kind of feels like Disney concentrating the Infinity on consoles is actually what the game should have been to begin with, because platforms diluted it. It took away time. It took away development time and stuff that it wasn't needed. So I'm really torn, like one way or the other. It's like really good and really bad at the same time. And I think for like people on those devices, it's awful. But what did you see of all of this?
Well, I mean, before I even comment on it, I'm going to say that like some people are going to react extremely passionate, and some people just straight out rude and don't really listen. They just go straight to anger. So I kind of want to respond in a very neutral standpoint, because clearly I've tried to explain my viewpoint, and some people don't like what I have to say, and that's because, again, I'm responding on a neutral standpoint. I'm not here to be on anybody's side here. But first off, what we've been hearing them saying makes a lot of sense, and obviously they haven't really been saying much other than the fact that Marvel Battlegrounds is multiplayer. So let's think about this. You can't really play 4-player local on a PC unless you have like 4 keyboards attached somehow or something like that. You can't play an iPad 4-player either. And Apple TV, even though they have specifically made it possible to play 4-player. Let's get this straight. I mean, the Apple TV, even though they marketed the brand new one to be also a gaming device, it's just really not the way people are using this device. Maybe there's probably a 1 or 2% out there of people who have bought the Apple TV that are using it this way. But I've had the Apple TV ever since it came out, the very first generation, picked up the new one, and I never use it to game. It's just something that the Apple TV has never been to me. Again, I know some people have used it as a gaming platform, and it's possible. But if you look at this as a business, which I'm sure Disney has, people aren't using the Apple TV to play 4-player or multiplayer or 2-player as it is on the Apple TV in general. So now on the defense side, the lack of communication has not been the best. I completely agree. There should be something said, at least a little press release, or just actually go out and say maybe in the next or at the Toy Box TV, say sorry for this, but unfortunately we can't support this because of yada yada yada. So yeah, there has been a lack of communication. But to be honest with you, we've polled our fans. I know Disney Infinity Codes has polled their fans. I know a lot of people have asked, how do you play the game? And it's a very, very small amount that have been playing it on the Apple TV. As far as iOS goes and the PC goes, those go from
the mobile device separate.
Yeah.
I was going to do the mobile devices separate because it's a kind of different issue again on that one.
Yeah,
it's just for me, I was just going to say about this thing about Apple TV. We don't know how many it's sold, and I think this is where the business side of me goes. What if that Apple TV starter pack has flopped? Maybe it's worse than the PS Vita version. Maybe it just hasn't sold at all, and it just literally, as far as Disney is concerned, the Apple TV hasn't taken off. It hasn't worked properly. The device, the people aren't buying the software. There's not enough people, so therefore, the adding the content to it is too expensive. Now, I'm going to be honest with this. Disney decided to put it on Apple TV, and they only released it a couple of months ago. If it doesn't work afterwards, in some ways, you've kind of got to say, well, you made that decision. You kind of need to stick to it because you've made people go out and purchase. This is not a $5 app. This is a $60, $70 play starter pack with, I think, is it $100? I think with the controller.
I believe it was $100 with that controller because honestly, it's the controller that brings it up that high.
Yeah. Like I said, this is not a $5 app. This is $100. So no wonder you would be annoyed. But I don't think enough people have brought it, and I think that the development of it, if Marvel Battlegrounds was not playable on these devices, and they even sent the PR things out to the Apple people, to the Apple websites. If this was coming, they should have said about it in February. They should have said it, not leave it to people buy their game and put it down on their devices and it doesn't work. You just think that is a massive mistake, and it's hard to kind of. There's no, if you're trying to scuttle it underneath and hope that no one notices because everyone's playing Battleground. That's it should have been said before, and I don't think anyone can really defend that idea of it. But I don't think a lot of people brought it on the Apple TV. I think that's the primary reason.
Honestly, my opinion on that is I honestly think this may have been something last minute, and it's to the point where they can't act fast enough. However, I feel like the communication wise should be there, and that's why it kind of seems the other way. I'm not trying to defend them or anything. Like, I'm just going based off of what I've seen in the past and other companies do, like EA and all these other things. I know EA is also not that good with communication, but again, I feel like something must have happened where they kind of ended up having to drop support. And the reason why I even say this is because I feel like they've been marketing, just like you said, it's already on the Apple TV saying like, hey, Brawler is coming, or a great Brawler with Marvel. Make sure you get that. And then even the iOS version, when you boot it up, it'll even show an ad for Marvel Battlegrounds, and it's like it's like I believe they were planning to release it, but something must have happened where like, what, numbers aren't there. Let's pull the plug, and I think they can't act fast enough. But again, communication would be beautiful for all the people who are mad. I mean, I know there's people out there who are just throwing f-bombs and saying that you guys are whatever, snakes or something, trying to steal our money. And you know what? That doesn't look good, and it makes other players upset. So
yeah, because I think this is the thing. Now I'm going to be from my point of view, and I've been saying this for years, was Disney putting Infinity on every single device. My toaster has got it on there. I think they got some kind of Infinity app on it. They have been putting Infinity on every single device possible, right? And the problem is they've been doing this, and I've been saying that the problem is the lowest console and the lowest of device is causing problems for the game, because you can't. If you've got a PlayStation and these different devices, the game doesn't work. When they bring out Hitman last week, they're not bringing it out on everything. They made Hitman Go for the smaller devices, and they made it for Xbox One, PS4 thing. Most games now do not try and spread themselves across so many platforms because it takes too long, takes too much development time, it doesn't work properly. Personally, I think going traditional console route and saying this is a console game. This is a console game. This is what it is, because that's what the vast majority of people play it on. I know they say the iPad and the different devices have high numbers. Well, it's a free game. This is a console game. This is how we play it. This is how we polled our fans, and most of them play on consoles. And I think this will make it stronger going forward. If they can not spending time and money on developing on the platforms that aren't working, and they just focus on that. Now, I'm actually, in some ways, the only way I can describe this is if they had literally released Marvel Battlegrounds and put a 4.0 on it and said all of the content in 2016 is 4.0. All right, now just bear with me. And they said, right, we're only going on consoles from this point on. If they had come out and said all of that and been like, well, this is what's happening, new version of the game is only available on these platforms, it would have been an entirely different beast. And everyone would have been like, well, it's a bit like when they dropped the Wii for 2.0. Everyone went, oh, all right, well, I need the new consoles. But because they've done it mid-cycle of the same game, that's what's caused the problems. If they'd done this from 2.0 to 3.0 and said, right, okay, there's no more PC, it would have been the reaction would have been completely different had it not been the same. Now, it's a real mess. I do believe that Disney, they knew what they were doing with 3.0 for a while, but maybe 3.0 is going to be around for a few more years, and they actually had to go, right, the bean counters came in and went, this isn't making any money, you need to drop this. And I also feel Disney Infinity have had their budgets cut. I think next to the budgets in terms of advertising, promotions, events, and I think platforms, I think there's been a bean counter has been going in and going, this isn't making any money, and therefore it's had to be cut. I do believe that cutting things mid-cycle is the worst. If they'd come out with 4.0 and they said it was console only, it wouldn't have gone down as badly as the way they've done it.
Well, first off, yeah, we didn't end up getting the Disney Infinity toaster out here, so you guys are lucky out there. But as far as what you were saying about it, if they would have came out and said it was 4.0 instead of 3.0, again, it goes back to exactly what you just said, which I said earlier, which was I feel like it was a last minute thing where they're like, you know what? No, this is not making money. We have to pull support on this, pull support on that. So, I mean, that's probably why they didn't go that route. But you most definitely are correct. I definitely feel like they have had their budgets cut, even though on the last fiscal cycle where they reported profits and everything like that, and even though Disney Infinity was one of the best-selling toys of life, I mean, you did see that Infinity didn't do so well, and that's only because like stock and reprinting and all that other stuff. But I also, you have to take into account all these other departments cost a lot of money for development time. I mean, you can't just take one game for one console and say it's going to work on the other. It takes a lot of development time and money. So that's definitely not going to fix anything. As far as cutting platforms, then absolutely. Now, another reason why I feel like they're definitely losing budget money is we're not going to see them at big events anymore, or at least this time around, like E3, or I'm assuming it's also going to happen. Not going to be a Comic-Con. I feel like they might not be at the other bigger events, only because they are using the next platform as of delivering news. So it's definitely
Late.
visible. Yeah, it's definitely visible that they are cutting the budget somehow. And as long as this allows them to have better profits, which allows them to release more content, then I'll be happy. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I honestly hope they go in the route of like for example, Star Wars Battlefront. We only see it in the new gen consoles.
Yeah.
So hopefully they go in the same route. Maybe 4.0 will end up dropping PS3 and 360, which I'm sorry because I know that's how I started, but it's probably going to force people to upgrade to the next generation of consoles.
Yeah. And I actually completely agree. I think if they go for Nintendo NX, PS1, Xbox One, sorry, PS4, Xbox One, just go next gen. If they want to do the yeah, I don't want a PS1 version of it. It'll be awful. I'll have to go to the charity shop and buy one. It'll just be. I think the trouble is game consoles come along. I don't know. It depends how long 3.0 cycle is, because everyone's like, we're going to get 4.0 next year. Well, we all thought we were getting it this year. It didn't happen then. Now there was a great article. I think I can't remember what site it was on, and it was talking about Disney Interactive's talking about business in terms of their mobile games and their console games, and how the mobile games, the whole aim of Disney Interactive at the minute is licensing out their games to different companies to do different things. Like EA are doing Battlefront, Square Enix are doing Kingdom Hearts, but also mobile games like Marvel Contest of Champions. They're all being splintered out to different companies to kind of bring in money rather than doing themselves. But they're also trying to refocus on releasing less games, but having them stronger. Sort of trying to do less things, franchising out bits and pieces, but also just making less games but making them better. They want to make their console games stronger and better. And so Disney Infinity is a massive thing, and they've also got like Battlefront and Kingdom Hearts, but they want to focus on mobile games better and stronger. And they, like you say, there's the one that came out only last week. Magic Kingdoms was made by Games Loft. They're sending out the game different divisions to make them up, rather than all doing them in house. Or Disney Infinity is the same thing. They splinter in all these different. United Front did Battleground. They're not doing them all themselves. They're bringing in people from all over the place to make the best stuff. But I thought it was an interesting thing with the whole the mobile side of things, which leads into this next thing. The mobile iOS and all the other devices have had updates where now they're all linked up to the cloud. Something we've been asking for years, where if you level up your character on a console for level 20, it's also unlocked on your iPad for level 20 as well. Things are being linked across using the cloud. We started seeing it a little bit at the beginning with the toys coming through, but now that's all come through. If you unlock something on your console, it'll unlock it on the iOS version. I'm sure if like Baloo and Ant-Man stuff are on the iOS version yet. Are they? I installed it and then deleted it because I ran out of space.
I don't think they're there yet. I know the Zootopia figures are, but as far as Baloo goes, I'm not 100% sure on that.
Because yeah.
Is that also? I think one thing you didn't mention. Is this also going to be the end of web codes? that's going to be interesting as well, because that's something that used to come. I mean, that still comes with all the figures right now. So it's like because you're going to link between
But then
consoles,
if they get rid of
you need that then.
Yeah. But then if they get rid of the PC version, they don't need the webcode for that. And it's like the iOS version. If you write it's a kind of odd because I just feel, and this is where I come from. I just think Infinity, they've kind of gone right. Okay, if this is a console game, we need to focus because it's. But yeah, I think webcodes are going. Can you even enter them anymore? Because I've been hearing reports of they're not working.
I feel the only reason why they started expanding platforms is I think they were trying to be like Skylanders, because technically, Disney Infinity was the second platform, so what not to copy what was doing great. But again, I feel like you're right. If they focus on just consoles, then that's great, because then it's going to be cohesive. It's going to be unified. A lot of games out there who have the same game, they produce different games for the other consoles. So it's kind of like it should have been, if they wanted to expand different consoles, it should have been kind of like the way they did 1.0 with the DS, where the DS game was completely different. Because you don't want to reduce the potential of producing an awesome game on the consoles, because you're limiting yourself due to other platforms. So
yeah, I was going to say, because like recently, for example, like Star Wars Battlefront, they brought out a special game to kind of tie in with it, some kind of chess thing that was. Or I just didn't like playing that. So, Kingdom Hearts, they have Kingdom Hearts X is a sort of mobile game. Now I've been saying this for a while. It was the iOS and the Android and Apple device and all those things. They need almost like Disney Infinity 3.0 Lite or Toy Box, or kind of a separate version of the game which kind of links into it that doesn't do everything the same. And I don't know, it just feels like this last week, it feels like the whole, like, all the console versions have all been carrying on as per normal, and they've all been getting all the updates, but the whole, all the other separate devices or aren't quite working, have all gone through a bit of a shuffle around. I really hope this week we can, or in the next week, we get a kind of official confirmation of what the hell's going on. Either in a like a blog post from JV or Blackburn or something, just to kind of go, what is going on? Tell us, give us some information, because I think it's causing unnecessary concern for people. Because people, we're sitting there going, well, it's not affecting the consoles, it's fine. But people don't know what's going on, because they're all worried that, is the Wii U going to get dropped next? Because no one knows what's going on, and I think that's, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You put it quite beautifully. Just let us know what the hell is going on. You know what? I mean, to add to that, there's a lot of people out there who are very frustrated, very angry, and I understand. But regardless of the fact, however angry you might be, the best way to get answers and to approach them is to talk from a place of opportunity. You know what I mean? Don't come across like, you want to rip their lights out. You know what I mean? I mean, I know there's a lot of people who are upset and who are pissed and that they feel taken advantage of. But you know what? I mean, just communicate in nice, and I'm sure they'll try to rectify it. But if you come across like somebody who is threatening and insulting, I don't think they're going to want anything to do with you anyways. So yeah, I see it both sides. I get it. I mean, I know if I wasn't a console gamer and I was on the Apple TV, I'd be completely livid myself. But the truth is, there are ways around it. Like, for example, if you really want a gaming console, get one. You know what I mean? Like, the Apple TV is not a gaming console. As much as they want to market it, but
yeah. I think that's the only way I look at it was, I felt like if this had happened to the Wii U or the Xbox 360, etc., that's how I view the same thing. Dropping the PC and the Apple TV is no different to me than them just dropping the 360, because there'll be players on it and they will be upset. And I think that's, it should, just because I'm a PlayStation 4 player, fine, or whatever. Take away all of them, get rid of the Xbox. We don't need that. It's easier when you're not on that device to be, well, it's fine, it's good. And I think the PlayStation version is going to get better because they're not doing all these other stuff. But for those people that have brought the starter pack, especially, I think if you've invested hundreds of dollars on the codes over the last couple of years on your PC version to find out you're not getting it, and you were expecting Marvel Battlegrounds, you would have been annoyed. And I think that's very difficult. It's very easy to kind of go, well, there we go. It's fine. It's a real hard one because I think like I think for both of us, it doesn't directly affect either of us. So therefore, it's like, well, it's fine. We've got Marvel Battlegrounds. We've got the new figures. It doesn't really matter. That's how we started. That's how we play. So it's a real kind of. Like I said, I said this right at the start. I'm really torn. I'm really like, on one hand, the way it's gone down has been really bad, and on the other hand, I think it will improve things long term for the rest of us. That's kind of how I think in some ways, if you let us know in the comments below, let us know on the things, how are you feeling about it? Is it something you're not worried about, or is it, I think that's the thing. It's a very up and down. It's very odd. It's an odd week.
The truth is, the support they're dropping is just a minuscule amount anyways. I mean, there's not that many people playing it. Again, for those very few people, I apologize, but there's really not much you can do other than the fact that, hey, get the full experience and get a PS4 or a Xbox One. Yeah, you might not be made of money or anything, but you know what? Hey, save money. If you really want to play this game, it costs a lot of money to play this game anyways. so save up for a console.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways,
you'll be able to pick up a free. You'll be able to pick up a 360 somewhere cheap. It's definitely an interesting one. In some other bits and pieces that kind of tying off of that one there. I'm just thinking. Kylo Ren Light FX figure has been spotted in the wild. He is out there. He shouldn't be out until a couple more weeks' time, but he has been spotted in the wild in a number of different stores, so you might want to be keeping an eye out. He is roaming around in the jungle there behind that path. It's one of those figures. It's not retailer exclusive. It's again, I don't. I think it feels like this is the 2016 year of us going. Where's the announcements? That just feels like this year they've just kind of got, did someone forget the password to let everyone know?
Well, I know that from now on, all we need to do is go buy some cheap pasta or something to find our news, because that's the way. That's unfortunately the way something happened. But no, you know what? There's more cool things coming, and I'm excited for them. It's just hopefully we'll learn some stuff in next as opposed to elsewhere. So but like you said, the Kylo Ren figure, let's stick to that. The Kylo Ren figure, I'm excited for that one. I want to see how it's gonna light up, because the only reason why we don't have the dual wielding characters is because they can only light in one direction. So I hope the light really spreads to the little small sabers correctly. But when you said they're in the wild, where were they? Do you know where they were reported? At what store?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember. It was a US store somewhere.
Somewhere in the US.
I must admit, I'm on the kind of I'll pick it up eventually zone, because the problem is as well that in the UK it's exclusive to game, and it means it's £15. So it's about $20. So it's massively expensive. And the game will eventually sell at half for about £10 in a few months' time. So I'm, as much as I really want it, and I do want to add it to my collection, but I have got a few Light FX ones already. It's not a must-have, because I've kind of gone past that with the Light FX figures were a nice bonus. Had they come out on the same day, I would have always gone for the Light FX figure. I think the double dipping on something, so I don't know. The variant stuff is kind of tricky for me now, because it's like lack of space. I got 100 figures. My wife was having enough of a go at me yesterday because we got the new sofa being delivered any minute, and I moved the sofa. I got rid of the old sofa last night, and I kind of forgotten to unload the back of the sofa a bit. But where my seat was, where she might see the two boxes at the front with the nice bit, orders and all of this kind of stuff. Now they'll have to just move around, she goes, what is all of that? Can you dump some of it? I'm like, yeah, maybe I don't need those Light FX figures just yet. I need to. And it's like Power Disc. I'm like, yes. She's like going, why have you got all of this stuff? Just like, because what are you 6?
Yeah, no. It's funny
Because you can see I have a problem. I have a problem.
Yeah. What's funny you say that, because like I like to keep my stuff organized and display nicely. Like, I have a nice glass case for my Infinity figures, but the ones that I have out here, they're on like baseball bat case display cases, and I'm running out of room in those as well. Like that, I have some standing on top, and I ended up buying 2 brand new baseball bat cases in the store with my girlfriend. So it's like, okay, cool. So she's okay with me having another spot to put them, but
the thing is, it's just
the way you had them,
yeah,
had them was not good. I saw that picture.
Yeah, it's just like literally I've just been like shoving them down the side of the sofa, and of course I've been creeping around the back of the sofa, so I knew where they were. I could get to everything because it was. Oh, I've had fully exceeded how far back my like little 2 boxes that were on the front, and actually expanded to 5 boxes behind. She didn't even know how. It was just like she's there going, "What is all of that?" Like, oh, it was like literally like a kid going, "You've just been caught."
Like, they've been reproduced. Oh no! Hey, you know what? On top of the, speaking of the Light FX figures, those who do have the Apple TV version, those lucky people have the base that actually works when you plug it into an electrical outlet USB.
Mm.
So if you want to display your Light FX figures without playing the game, you can actually plug it into the outlet, and you can put 3 of them on that base, and they'll light up beautifully. So just putting a positive spin on that.
And if you wait to probably around about December time, all the starter packs are going to be reduced so much that you'll be able to buy boxes of them and turn them into a Christmas tree decoration, so that Jason and Daniel can do that.
Well, Jason hasn't posted his tutorial yet. I feel like he's trying to keep that as a secret, which I want to learn how to make it. But anyways, it's cool.
Well,
yeah.
I think that pretty much is kind of this week's show. Next week we'll be back, and by then I'm hoping they'll. Yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot Baloo. What's Baloo like?
He's great. Okay, we're done. No, he's really fun. He's a fun figure. That's definitely a figure that everybody should add to their collection. Definitely plays differently than any other figure out there. Use the music aspect to it. They use the fun attacks. Uses his belly and his butt to attack people, and he pulls out the palm tree, and it's a cool figure to have. Also a really nice figure to display too. So.
Yeah, and unfortunately, again, us Brits and Europeans and Australasians as well, we aren't getting it till April.
Oh, at least you guys have the toaster version, so you're fine.
What I'm also trying is I have this, we have our new things here, and I've just noticed, we got perfect, we can use them as a power disc spot as well. We can just put power discs underneath our microphone.
That's true. That's true. Your wife will be happy now because you have a new place to put your power discs. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. I think my wife actually to be honest, this microphone sits in the living room, and I think she started to call it Derek because it's the size of it is so big.
Looks like C3. Oh no, I'm sorry. R2D2.
Yeah, they're a bit big. But anyway, guys, so pretty much going to wrap it up. If you haven't already done so, remember hit that subscribe button. Though, if you've been listening to us rambling by now, you might have been really. You can also listen to us on the iTunes stuff as well, and you can find us on all the different Android devices as well for the podcast version. And you can also join our Disney Infinity and Beyond Facebook group full of Disney Infinity stuff, but also we talk about other video games from Disney Star Wars. Lots and lots of discussion going on this week with Magic Kingdoms. Travis has been hooked on it, and also
I'm playing it right now.
Battlefront Lego. Yeah. Well, it's definitely I think it's definitely a kind of love it or hate it game, Marmite.
Let me guess, you're on the hate it part.
Yeah.
I like it. It's fun.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and we shall see you guys in a later video. Later,
guys. Thanks, Patreons. Woohoo.